How modern women disguise themselves in order to live under your radar. Let's go on and talk about it.
I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
One clear sign that a woman is trying to finesse you is that she tells you things. She answers your questions, but she answers your questions in a way that doesn't give you the information you're actually seeking. But she needs to answer that question. She understands she has to give you something, but she's not going to give you enough. She's going to keep things vague. She's going to dance around the truth. She's going to tell you things that don't make sense. In this video, I want to go over a couple of things that I went through personally on a phone call with a woman yesterday. And hopefully, if you can understand or relate to some of these things, you can see what's going on here. There's going to be a pattern. You're going to notice that the woman I'm going to try to articulate to you based off of the answers she gave me to my questions, you're not going to know who she is. I don't even know who she is, but she answered all 10 of my questions. I got 10, okay? Or 10 scenarios that we discussed over the phone, okay? And we talked for 2 hours. And I will say this too before I get started. The longer you allow somebody to talk, that's when their BS starts to shine through. Okay, so I don't do 10, 15-minute conversations. People say, oh, I keep conversations short and all that stuff like that. I don't do that. The longer you talk to somebody, the more information you can gather, and the more likelihood, the more likely that they're going to expose who they really are to you. So I'm going to go over 10 things that I discussed with this woman, and you're going to see you're not going to be able to know who I'm talking about, like what type of woman she was. I mean, you'll be able to have an idea that she's cap and that she's full of BS, but you're not going to be able to pinpoint her character and her moral grounds and moral standing and things, information needed to make a decision on whether or not to pursue this woman or not. And then you're going to see something, because you're probably going to be talking to a woman who is going to try to finesse you like this and try to live beneath your radar when you talk to her, okay? And if you don't catch on and read between the lines, then you're going to find yourself dealing with somebody that you don't even know and you never knew. It was set up like that. That's how she staged her conversation with you. She already knew how to avoid answering your questions because she tried to jump ahead of you, and she said, he's asking me this question in order to find out this about me. So I'm going to tell him this answer so that he doesn't know that part. And the fact that she's trying to evade that answer lets you know that that's an area that she needs work in. I'm going to get into it right here, right now for you without wasting more of your time. Number one, okay, I asked this woman if she was straight or bi. This woman said to me, she says, I'm a heterosexual woman, but if a woman tried to kiss me, I would not be opposed to it. I'd kiss anything on that woman from her lips to her box. I said, sounds like you have been intimate with a woman before. She says, absolutely. I said, well, then you're bisexual. You are sexually attracted to women and to men, and you've been intimate sexually with a woman or women in your life. That makes you bisexual. She said, no, I'm heterosexual because I prefer men over women. No, you're bisexual because you like both sexes. You like men and you like women. And you've also been intimate sexually with the woman. And you have no problem moving forward with being intimate sexually with the woman. Therefore, you are bisexual. She says, no, I'm 90% heterosexual, 10% bisexual. Okay. That's number one. That's, I call cap. Okay. It was like, I couldn't put is she straight or is she bi? Can you tell me if she's straight or she bi now? By that answer? If you're smart, the answer is bisexual. But what she told me is that she's heterosexual because she prefers men over women. She's trying to go undetected. She doesn't want me to pinpoint nothing about her. She wants to move without. She's trying to go like live in this judgment free zone to where you can't have anything to say about what she does because you don't fully understand or even know what's going on here. And that leaves so much wiggle room and gray area to where later on she can say, no, I don't like women. I liked them at one point in time, but I don't like women anymore. Okay, that's not what you said. Moving forward, we got to discussing purpose in life. You know, I was asking her, like, what does she want to do with her life? And she told me, I don't think you want to know that, but I just think that the main purpose of us humans is to simply exist. First of all, I do want to know that because I asked you. True, I wouldn't make up none of this, y'all. This is what this conversation with this woman went like. I asked her, what does she want to do with her life? I'm trying to understand her purpose. What does she feel fulfilled doing in life? And she said, I don't think you want to know the answer to that, but I feel like in general, people, the main purpose of humans is to simply exist. Okay, to simply exist is to live without purpose. And she didn't articulate what her purpose was. And I said, okay, as an example, what I do for a living, I get fulfillment from it. I like it. It doesn't even feel like work. I could see myself doing it for 30, 40 years. So I know I'm living within my purpose. She then told me that fulfillment and purpose is two different things. What are you talking about? If you are doing something that you feel fulfilled doing, that's a clear sign you're living within your purpose. That's your purpose. You don't, if you're going to a 9 to 5 and you hate your job, that's clearly not your purpose. But if you're, whatever it is that you do, you enjoy doing and then you get fulfillment from it, you're clearly living within your purpose. She told me that fulfillment and purpose have nothing to do with each other. I totally disagree. That's cap. Purpose and fulfillment go hand in hand. Number 3, I was talking about how I change the things that I see in my social media feed. Like, I don't follow women who be doing that twerking stuff. I'm a man. I like seeing booty shake. Yeah. But I like my news feed on my social medias to be informative, self-help videos, cooking, inspirational topics. I like to fill my head with that kind of stuff. I don't want to fill myself with head with sex. You know, I don't want to scroll down Instagram and all I see is booty shaking videos. You know, so I try to hit the little 3 dots on the right hand side and go down to don't show this or don't suggest content like this or mute this. I do that all the time when I see that kind of stuff because I don't want to see it. I'm letting the algorithm know not to send me stuff like that. And then slowly but surely, I see less and less of that. This woman told me that if I ignored it, I wouldn't see it. If I simply ignored those videos and if I didn't let them bother me so much that I'd stop seeing them. I said, I'm not sure what you mean. She says, because you have such a hate for it, that's why you continuously see it. But if you just watch the videos without having any negative feelings for it, then you wouldn't see it anymore. If I watched the videos, I wouldn't see it anymore. I'm not making this up, guys. This woman said that to me. Okay. I was like, what is she talking about? This is one conversation. Everything in this video came from one conversation. And I want to help men because if you listen to these women, they're telling you who they are. At the same time, they're avoiding telling you who they are. Number 4, I said, in efforts to get a better understanding of her moral compass, moral standings. I said, do you follow a religion? Notice I didn't say, what religion are you? I said, do you follow a religion? I wanted to know. That's important to me. I'm a Christian. And I I don't me personally, I don't judge religion. I don't care what religion you are. You know what I mean? Um, Only time someone's religious beliefs will become an issue with me, I'm not going to argue over religion. And I would prefer to date a woman of my same religion because then we have similar moral beliefs and we follow or are attempting to follow the same guidelines in life. And then when we go to get married one day, we're going to go to the same religious church to get married. Okay, so for me personally, it's important that I date a woman who has similar spiritual beliefs as me. So I asked this woman, do you follow a religion? And she says, I follow all religions. I said, how does that work? She said, they're pretty much all saying the same thing. Yeah, but which one do you follow? Yeah, it doesn't, that's beside the point. Like, do you follow one of them? Do you go to a church? Do you go to a church? Do you go to church, every religion's church? Each Sunday you go to a different religion's church? How do you follow all religions? Clearly, guys, I'm not stupid. I know that was cap. Okay, what she was trying to do is she was trying to avoid answering the question by answering the question in a vague, you know, way that doesn't really answer my question. You know, she was downplaying religion. Then you don't follow religion then. Don't tell me all religions say the same thing. Just tell me the answer is no, I don't follow religion. Don't tell me that you follow all religions. Sometimes women, they'll talk to so many men that they hear some of the same questions over and over again. But women need to understand, so do we. We know that every woman want to go shopping. We know that every woman loves to travel. Not every, but majority. She loves trying new things, meeting new people, going shopping, traveling the world. Y'all say the same stuff. So who cares if all the men you've talked to ask you the same question? So now you have this annoyance of answering this question, and then you want to avoid answering the question, and you answer this question in a way to where it's like you want to shut down all conversation regarding that question. That's blocking someone from getting to know you. But she told me she follows all religion. So what religion does she follow, guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I told her that in order for me to be in a successful relationship, we'd have to be evenly yoked. We have to have somewhat of the same beliefs spiritually, morally, and stuff like that. She said to me in response to that she felt like we all should be able to do what we feel like doing without being judged. I'm I'm being judgmental by requiring a woman to have similar beliefs in order for me to jump into a committed relationship with her. And I should allow myself to date a woman who does not have my same beliefs or understandings or spiritual anything, morality. What? If you listen closely, guys, she's saying none of that stuff matters. All of these questions you're asking me, you're trying to gauge who I am to see if I'm a good fit, but I can be a good fit without matching none of your requirements. None of your requirements matter. None of your preferences matter. All of my requirements matter. All of my preferences matter. She was trying to live in this gray zone to where I would just entertain her without knowing in any way, shape, or form if she's right for me, if she's a good fit for me. She was a good fit for me because she wanted me, and I thought she was attractive enough to match with her. But getting to know her, she felt like was an irrelevant step. I hope you guys are following along here and understanding the trend that's going on here. Because I did. She was blocked after this conversation. I never spoke to her again. I asked her what she would do differently moving forward as far as dating goes. This is one of my infamous questions. I have a video on like 10 questions that a modern woman can't answer or something like that, one of my videos. And I said, what would you do different moving forward as far as dating goes? She said, choose better. There's nothing wrong with this woman. There's nothing that she did wrong in her past relationships. She didn't play any role in the failure of those relationships. She just needs to choose better. She's perfectly fine the way she is. In addition to this topic, she says, I'm never going to change the way who I am and the way I think. And I wouldn't even go into a relationship with a woman personally trying to change the way she thinks. I want to see how she is organically, how she is already prior to me getting with her for me to determine if she's a right fit for me. I don't take women and make them a right fit for me. I need you to be a right fit for me from the jump. And clearly this woman wasn't. But she was perfect in her own eyes. That was the wrong answer, by the way. Choose better, wrong answer. Just like everything else. She's answering all of my questions wrong. Then Jerome, why you kept asking her questions? I'm asking her questions so that I can have a clear understanding of who I'm dealing with. And I'm asking her questions because the type of man I am and what I do, I like to ask questions and then bring them to videos and show other men what women are saying. She told me that she was reluctant or she wasn't really interested in talking to me over the phone because she had been told prior that her voice doesn't match her looks. I said, what do you mean? She says, I kind of sound like white and, but I'm from the hood. I was like, to me, you sound like a woman and you look like a woman. I don't really understand what she was trying to do with this one other than possibly trying to get to know me via text message or I guess. But no, text messages, a lot of things could be misconstrued and taken out of context. So I like to talk over the phone and or in person. There's 3 ways you can get to know somebody, you guys. Okay? From lowest to highest, text message, voice over the phone, in person. The most effective way is in person. Second most effective way is over the phone. Least effective way is via text message. Don't allow a woman to try to get to know you via text. Do not try to get to know a woman via text message. You are actually not getting to know this woman at all. Okay? The better way is for you to be on the phone. You can actually hear her timed responses. You can hear her tone of voice. Even better than over the phone, you can see somebody's facial expressions, tones of voice, timed responses, words of choice. That's the absolute best way to get to know somebody. Number 8, I asked her if she was monogamous or open to polygamy. She told me she was monogamous but open to polygamy because men gonna lie anyway, and she just rather know that she's being cheated on, and she rather know that you're talking to multiple people. And I said, well, if you're open to polygamy, then you're polygamous, because monogamy is on the opposite side of polygamy. Monogamy is you believe in one man, one woman. Even if you're gay or lesbian, one woman, one man, one man. We're still gonna call that polygamy. It's a one-on-one. Excuse me, we're still gonna call that monogamous. I'm sorry. One man, one partner, one partner. But to be open to multiple partners, whether it's you allow somebody else to have multiple partners or you desire multiple partners, and that's a polygamous mindset. That's not the same thing. You can't be both. She's trying to be everywhere but nowhere at the same time. She's trying to go under my radar. She's answering my questions, but in a way to where I cannot know who she is. One other thing, one sidebar note on this one. Ironically, her birthday was on 4/20. Okay. But she says she didn't smoke. She says, I don't smoke, but my birthday is on 4/20. But on the whole conversation, every few minutes, I would hear her go. She doesn't know I know this. She doesn't know I heard this. Sounds like she was blowing smoke. Regardless if it was weed or if it was crack or if it was cigarettes or if it was hookah, that's smoking. Or if it was a vape, that's smoking. Number 9, she said when she first meets a man, she doesn't want to meet up with him in person for at least 2 weeks because she wants to get to know him first. This goes back to what I just said. A woman trying to get to know you via text message or over the phone, that's cap. The best way to get to know somebody is in person. If somebody, I feel like that's a catfish tactic that women use when they try to get to know you over the phone instead of in person. This allows them to talk to you, get to know you, but maintain another relationship potentially, or this allows you to catch feelings or to start liking them before you meet them in person. Because once you meet them in person, then they don't look exactly how they displayed themselves on online dating on the app on their profile. Then the chances of you overlooking the fact that they didn't completely match their profile is higher because you grew a liking to them before you met them. I don't do that. Again, that's another way to stay under the radar. That's another way to pull one over on you, pull the veil over your eyes so you can't see who they really are. A woman trying to get to know you over the phone or via text message. Don't do it, guys. Try to set up the date as soon as possible. Not as soon as possible, because these guys who jump right into the profile, right into her inbox and say, let me take you out, without asking her any questions, without seeing if she lives with her kid's father, without seeing if she's still legally married, without seeing if she's bisexual and doesn't even like men, or a lesbian that doesn't even like men, without knowing if she has 17 kids. You didn't ask her anything. You just offered to take her out. And if she said she's going to say, yeah, probably, because she's getting a free meal. And then you're going to be sitting across from the table saying, so how many kids you got? 7. And then you're thinking, like, damn. You wasted your money. So not as soon as possible. Don't set up the date as soon as possible. Have a conversation. Okay. Ask some questions. I got videos on my channel about questions that you can ask, when you're vetting a woman. I got several videos on that. Ask those questions. Ask your questions. Come up with your own. You know what I'm saying? Questions that are relevant, pertaining to what you're looking for in your own life. And if she aligns with those, if her answers align with what you're looking for, the values you look for in a woman, then set up a date as soon as possible. Don't you ever try to get to know a woman via text message or over the phone. Lastly, number 10. When a woman asks you about, when she tries to tell you how you feel, okay? This woman asks you, so what happened between you and your ex? And you say, oh, we was together for 8 years. She cheated on me. We had 3 kids together. We lived together. We built this. She was really sweet. She used to do this, do that. You run down, your scenario. And then she says, you still in love with her. You that's a red flag that you still care for her. You still want to be with her. You're like, no, I was just answering your question. Women try this. They accuse you of still wanting to be with your ex because you brought her up. That's a red flag if you bring up your ex, because they feel like you still have harboring feelings for this woman. When getting to know somebody's history and who they used to date to an extent is healthy, because it gives you, it's like when you go to a job, they ask you about your previous experience. They don't say, we don't want to hear nothing about what you used to do before this job. No, it's very relevant. We want to know how qualified you are. We want to know how you've handled tough situations. You know what I'm saying? We want to know what your strongest weaknesses are and blah, blah, blah. So somebody asking you about your relationships or you bringing up and discussing your previous relationships doesn't mean that you're still in love with your ex. But they try to make you feel like you're still in love with your ex because you remember things about them, or because you give them a detailed explanation of what happened with that ex as to the one of the lessons you learned and one of the ways why you think the way you think. None of your relationships were supposed to have any kind of effect on the way you think. And if you are in any way damaged or, you know, more what's the word, cautious or anything like that because of your experiences, you're still harboring feelings for that woman. Not true. And there is cases where people can be, I would ask somebody how long you've been single, because if you tell me 2 months, okay, then you might still be harboring feelings. But I haven't been with my ex for 8 years. If I'm still harboring feelings, that implies I'm still looking to get with that person, and I'm not. This is how women try to go undetected, disguise the truth, slide and live under the radar. And if you don't listen closely, you'll still deal with this woman because you're letting your little man tell you, but she looks good, bro. Because this woman I'm talking about here, I had a 2-hour conversation with her. She was very attractive. But I blocked her ass as soon as we got off the phone because I was like, there's no way. There's no way that that's the one that's for me. That was just another example of a video I can make. That's how I looked at it. If you like this video or if it resonates with you, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been yet another episode of The Superb World. Be safe out there, and until next time, 2 fingers. All right.